Okay, so I'll be sharing the screen as we wait for others to join. Welcome to our class today, and we shall be discussing basic cake baking technique. And for beginning of our class, we shall be sharing on the different equipment that are used in cake baking. So as you can see in the photos that are projected in our screen, we have different types of tools and equipment that are used in cake baking. So we shall be looking at each as we go by. So to start with, yes. Oh, let me share again. Are you able now to see? Okay, let me. What about now? You're able now to see the screen. So it is loading. Hope now you are able to see the. Okay, thank you. Uh, so welcome to our class today. We're going to look at basic cake baking technique, and for today's class, we're just going to look at different equipment that are used in cake baking. So we start with a quote there, which say that if you are trying to create a company, it's like baking a cake. You have to have all the ingredients in the right proportion. So it necessitates why learning the equipment that are used is important for today's class because they guide us in even measuring and working with the ingredient. So we have listed some of the equipment that are used in cake baking. We have the baking tin, we have the cooling rack, we have the food mixer, we have food processor, we have measuring spoon, mixing bowl, palette knife, pastry brush, we have the sieve, rolling pin, skewers, zesters, scales, spatula, spoon, and the whisk. So those are some. So basically, now we look at the role of each equipment. We begin with the cake tin, and we say that they are used to hold runny butter to be baked in the oven, and also they exist in different size, shape, color, surface, and texture. Then you have the cooling rack. We say that it is used to cool the baked cake before it is portioned for service or before it is iced or decorated. So that is the role of a cooling rack. Then we have the icing smoother. It's used to creating smooth professional finishes to cake when covering them with marzipan and sugar paste or fondant icing. So basically it is used to ensure that the ice is smooth while you are decorating. Then you have the food mixer, which is used in the mixing of ingredients used in cake making, and also they exist both electrical and hand mixer. We have the food processor, which is used to blend fruit juice and nut that might be required in the baking process. Then we have the measuring spoon. A measuring spoon is used in the measuring of ingredients that are required in small quantities, e.g., leavening agents such as baking powder and baking soda, etc. So, so that is the role of the measuring spoon. It is used to measure the ingredients that are required in small quantities. Then we have the measuring jug, and we say that a measuring jug is used primarily to measure the volume of liquid or bulk solid cooking ingredient such as flour and sugar, especially for volumes from about 50 ml. So a jug now is used to measure those liquids and solid cooking ingredients that are required in large quantities, about 50 ml and above. Then you have the mixing bowl. A mixing bowl is used in hand mixing or different ingredient used in cake making. So basically, a mixing bowl is just a normal bowl that you use when you are baking. We have other equipment that we use. We have the palette knife, and we say that a palette knife is used in spreading a substance onto a flat surface, such as frosting on a cake. So a palette knife is that knife that is used to spread to spread maybe uh, a substance, a decorating substance like the cream, like the cream are used to decorate carefully using a palette knife. Then we have the pastry brush, and we say that a pastry brush used to spread a glaze or egg wash on the crust or surface of the baking item, e.g. breads. It is also used to spread fat in a baking tin before adding the butter to ensure that it does not stick in the surface. So pastry brush, basically it is used to spread either butter or margarine and maybe eggs on a baking tin, so that now when you put when you put your pastry batter, it will not stick on the pan before now you put it uh, in the oven. Then you have the sieve, and we say that a sieve is used to sieve the ingredients, and they exist in different types and sizes. So we have different type of sieves that they are used in baking. Yeah, they come in different sizes, different shapes. So they are used to ensure that the ingredients are sieved. Like we said, in baking, it is important to sieve things like flour, sugar, so that we can allow air aeration. Then we have the rolling pin, and a rolling pin, we say that it is used to roll pastry products. So a rolling pin is just used to roll the pastry product. Then we have the skewers, and we say that skewers may be used to check whether the cake are cooked in the oven, and they exist in different forms, e.g. wooden and metallic. So when you baking and you want to test whether the cake is cooked, you can use a skewer, whereby you use it to press the cake to see whether it is cooked well. Then you have a zester. This is a tool that allows you to remove the zest from citrus. So basically, there are some cakes that we use the citrus, maybe the lemon zest. Yeah, the lemon zest. Maybe you want to make maybe a lemon cake, and you need to use that zest. The zest is the outer cover of most lemons. So maybe you want to grate it and use it in cake. So use a zester for that matter. Then we have a scales. We have scales, and we say this basically used as a measuring tool. It's basically used as a measuring tool. Then you have the spatula. We say that it is used as a decorating tool, but also can be used to serve slice of cake, pieces or pie or bar. So a spatula, it can be used to portion and also to pick, but still we are saying that it can be used for as a decorating tool. Lastly, we have the whisk, and we say that is a cooking utensils which can be used to blend ingredient smooth and to incorporate air into a mixture in a process known as whisking or whipping. So it is that balloon kind of whisk that is used to whisk the batter to incorporate air into the mixture, and it is used mostly in cakes that use whisking method in preparation. So basically, those are some of the equipment that are used in cake baking. Then we have a food of thought there at the end. So, and we basically say that happiness is having self-baked cake. So anytime that you are able to use the right equipment and ensure that your cake is good, it gives pleasure. So when we meet in our next class, we shall now be looking at some of the other large equipment that we use in cake